6:10 now in UAE, and it should be 7:40 in India. Today is 16th of September 2023, and this is our 172 session number, weekly session, and we are one group. And topic of today's discussion is eradication of fears from life. So we'll go into the deep into the fear, what fear is, and what it does, what are the effect, and how to deal with them, and finally, what is overcoming the pathway to overcoming them in our own unique way. So we are all unique human beings. So our set of fears are unique, same as set of path to overcoming them. So first, let us start with what is fear, the common normal definition, or you can say the just understanding of it. It is an emotion of mind which is created when faces a unknown situation or a danger or a threat. So it is basically in the form of emotion, and it is a mind construct created by mind, that fear. So that is the fundamental understanding. There are a lot of quotations available in the people keep on sending them on the social media and all. Some of them on fear, the most popular one is false evidence appear real. That is an acronym. They have they make it a fear as an acronym of that, which is in one sense that is correct. That false evidence appears real means it is not the truth. It is some kind of illusion. So we'll go into detail on this aspect. Okay. Now, what it does, fear has the multiple effects on human being, on us. If you see in the physical level, which is very seen, which is like a physical level is gross, everybody can see, very can understand, or it can be detected by the medical instruments. So when one gets fearful, it is the heartbeat increases, and the blood pressure, that also goes into the dynamic mode, not stable. Then the numbness comes, they cannot move. Our normal senses that get reduced with the numbness and all these kind of things. And lower the degree of action, and it lowers the self-defense mechanism of the body. Means our body has its own self-defense mechanism, like an auto defense mechanism. Fear reduces all those things, so we got prone to many things like diseases or attacks or something like that, because our defense mechanism, which is automatic, is down by the fever. And under fear, there are many things. Erratic behavior comes. People, the talk gets slurred, or the brain doesn't function properly. And there are a lot of things happens which are funny. Funny means who are not in the fear, who are watching these things. In our childhood days, we thought there is a big guy, he caught one thief. The theft, like a normal stealing something from house, that becomes very common. Now it is more like a digital and that kind of stuff, sophisticated. But I'm talking about the traditional thief, who used to steal something from people's home in the night and things like that. So one thief was caught. We all went to see the how thief look like, so we saw that there's like a thin, like a well, basically poor fellow, and very dirty, clothes. And when he was caught, and the funny part is that that fellow is seen like urinating, all this. So it looks very funny, but those are the symptoms. When you get fearful, people pass stool, pass urine, and these kind of things that come. Even in the extreme cases of fearfulness, the blood comes out from the mouth and nose, and even it's a very high degree of shock. People get senseless, and even acute fear can lead to death. This is that how serious it is. Yeah. So, and it is the fear is for a normal human being. I'm saying it is a basically for humanity. It's an enemy of mankind. It stops our own progress because of our human development. The progress got started. I'm not now talking the collectively. It disturbs the peace. Any kind of fear disturbs the peace and harmony, and it sucks the vital energy. The fear, they take out our energy, which may be used for better purposes, for constructive purposes, and it drains the energy from the nervous system. So nervous become, as I mentioned earlier, our nervous system senses become weak, and it produces the weakness, and obviously that it leads to unstable situation, or it increases the health risk, it increases our social risk, or any kind of thing we want to live in the society. It adversely affects. So it is important to understand that why it is happening, because knowing a problem is half solved. So knowing a problem is half solved. You might have heard this phrase many times. So we'll understand that why that fear occurs. That's what I'm giving the effects of the fears. So knowing a half solved means what is the rest of? So, okay, how to get it to the full solution rather than half solved? Implementing them. Knowing a problem half solved is a 50%. Implementing them, what you come to know, is the second half, which is 50%. So it gets the 100% is achieved. Everything has gained. You can win over that. Anything. I'm not talking in the fear. Anything in life. First is knowing the problem or the issue. I explained it is a problem. It is a problem to the human being. All of us, we face some degree or other, some time or other, some situations or other we do. Yeah. So this we'll understand them, and once we understand them, and the first today's session I said we may not face everything in the equal way, equal proportion, and equal time, because we are all unique. So our solutions will be unique. But we have a general approach. If you have a general understanding, then we may work on to whatever is actually applicable for us, and then we work towards get rid of that and overcoming that and win over that. Okay, so that is the approach we are taking now. So this the fear and in physical level, of course, now what is commonly recommended to face with figures, that is to develop courage. Because running away, which is called fight or flight situation, like any kind of situation with a normal response is either fight or flight. So if you flight from fear, then fear will remain. So if you choose to fight with it, then at some point of time, of course, there will be some difficulty, but at some point of time, there is a chance of winning it, permanently. So we will go into that approach. So we are not going into the flight mode, which is just running away from the uncomfortable situation or hiding the fears, or commonly known as putting it in below the carpet. We are not recommending that. It is just like cover up. It is not the actually facing the problem. So that is not the part of the solution we will recommend, neither will pursue. So we just keep that aside. So facing the fear with the courage that is normally been recommended, and that is has been even we have been told into our childhood as a part of our developing phase, formative years. We have been told to be courageous, face the fear, and all those things. So we will go into little detail on that one. Okay. Developing the courage is this. Developing the courage is okay. This is physical level. It does work, but we need to go a little bit deeper than that. How from where the courage is coming. So we have to go into little bit of next layer to understand that which will work and how it will work. If the courage is coming from like there is something you are fearing, but if the courage is coming from like hatred or like a attitude, killing attitude on like a jealousy or like overpowering something, and all those kind of that kind of source, then in Sanskrit there is a word called tamasic. Tamasic means which is coming from the tamasic means the enjoyment. We are losing some enjoyment, and then that prompted us to take something, some action. If that is the source of that courage, then that is called tamasic. The tamasic courage is always temporary, and it will not work in the long run. Whereas if the courage is coming from the truth, from your inner power, just to sustain the truth, that is the source of that your courage, and you go into that and you act on that. That is sattvic courage. Like if you want me give me the difference between these two, like some dacoits, they attack people, and then they get snatch away things from them. So they are not fearful if they attack some house, and they are not fearful in attacking the house, and they get it and they steal things out of them. That's tamasic. They want that. This courage comes from in the mind of them. They will enjoy the wealth, stolen wealth and money and whatever, what objects they get it from that home, they will be utilizing it. There's a dacoit type of courage. This courage is coming from the source of like a greed, or it is like it is coming from satisfy some of your whatever you desire, coming from there. But the other one, which is I'm talking, which is coming from the truth or your inner power, that courage is long lasting and much powerful than the other one. So the example of that is freedom fighters. You say in the freedom movement in India, there are the many who even don't fear even to get hanged. They have been tortured, like you have read and story many places of the freedom movement, how this is were tortured by that time. What is called whoever is running the government, and they utilize the government machinery to capture and punish those people who are participated in the freedom movement. Their source is not from greed or to satisfy something and getting an object of luxury. They are coming from the truth, and they are coming from the devotion and to love to their motherland. Okay, so that source is sattvic, means it is coming from purity. It is not coming from something which is satisfying your ego and object of luxury. So there is a difference between these two courages. So facing the fear, the courage, yes, and the physical level that works. And what is the higher level, we'll discuss later on. But first, you understand that how it works. So So now this is how the fear and this works, and this courage is taught. And the cause of fear, if you go into the next level of understanding and the fear, it is coming from your basically ego and duality. Let me go on to explain into that. The cause of fear is identification with the body, like physical, anything physical, your body or your position, your objects, and all those things. So that your to your own identity, if your identity is in the egoistic level, like in the ego level or lower level, then your existence will depend on this kind of objects. What the type of house you have, or type, things, the money you have, or the your property, and your own your own um, like objects, what you wear and what you have, and all those kind of things. So this is your just to satisfy your ego, and of course there is something is needed, and beyond that it is your wants and all those things. So your identification with those kind of objects in the physical things, if anything you feel threatened, those have been taken away from you, your ego gets hurt, and that or in the possibility of that becomes taken out of you, that creates fear, okay, in the physical level. And fear also comes from the feeling of uh, inferiority to any power. Like anything you see, the more powerful than you, it can take that is called taking out power from you. The dacoit example I have given. It can also come from any kind of power in power in the system, power in the government, power in the police, or power to somebody else who is more stronger than you in any respect. People got fearful. They think that the power, that who are the more powerful than you, can then take it something from you, what you want, and that creates a fear. Yeah. So fear not always necessarily be it is actually happening. The possibility of it, it is the threat of it, the danger of it creates the fear. So that is the part and parcel of that. And if you go to the little bit of higher level, then the cause of fear is simply the ignorance of the truth. You know, that's why it was called, it is an illusion. Because if it is not based on the truth, or the higher level of the facts, the lower level of facts, which is like an understanding of something. Lower level of facts, so of losing something, getting out of something you want or you have, that creates fear. Okay. And then there is a direct relation between the fear and the attachments we have in the physical dimension. More we have the attachment with something we have, our possession, not possession of something may not be just physical objects. It can be our reputation, our place in the society, our so-called image, in the public image. There can be many issues associated with our ego, which is existed. If and we are attached to it, so all these things, what we are attached to in the physical world, if any one of them get threatened, then we get fearful. So in that sense, the fear is directly proportional to our attachments. In other words, more we have attachments into the physical level, or as I just explained, not only physical objects, anything in the physical dimension, our name, our reputation, our image, our, say, earning capacity, or our, if I love something, whether I will be able to keep enjoying something, all those things, enjoying life, so called, whether all those things, or maybe our addictions or whatever it is, any kind of threat to that, whatever you're addicted to, attachment to, any kind of, it is equivalent, losing them is the chance of losing them is the fear. So it is directly proportional. More attachments we have, more the fear we have. So that is why also you may see that we are normally told that richer means our what is our present day lifestyle. Bigger, better, more is the symbol of your level. Like if you have more money, you are in the higher level. Is it true? It is true in one sense, but so here, suppose I have maybe maybe few $1 billion of my position. So of course, I'm attached to it, and I like it. I like to have it. The enjoyment of having them is overpowered by fear of losing them. So if you see what is happening, not what people have, definitely they have it, yeah. But what life they live is they live more life of fulfillment, enjoyment and satisfaction and liberation to one sense, like they are liberated from it, they are more powerful and all, they're enjoying it. Is that life they lead, or they live a life of fear of losing them, any percentage of it, in the form of anything? It can be maybe form of giving a part of it to somebody, or giving the taxes to the government, or some partner may choose it, I mean cheat and take it, some part of them, and all those kind of things. Now, if and getting stolen, maybe physically, online, or whatever it is. So if that is the life they are living, that is a coming out of fear of losing them. So if you are more attached to something you have, then equal proportion you may have of fear of losing them. I'm not advocating having money is bad. I'm saying the attachment to that is the cause of the fears. You can have it if you enjoy it without any fear. That would be a wonderful way of living. You have it and enjoy it. That's it. But if you have a fear of losing them, and that fear is interfering into your life, how I have already stated in the beginning, it is basically enemy of mankind. So any kind of fear. If you are living a fearful life, then it is not worth it. Okay, so we are giving that many very, very rich people, they have very famous, very rich. Their children, they are not living a normal life. They cannot go out and play in the park. They think they get kidnapped, and Z-class security is applied and all. They are under surveillance all the time. They don't like it. But they cannot take the risk of getting kidnapped, or some harm to them, and people are asking ransom. So they are in the constant fear of that. I'm not saying everybody, but if you see what is happening, you will come out with this. They spend a lot of money for the security and surveillance and this and that because of fear of losing. Yeah, okay, so their normal life gets ruined because they have more than normal, and they have a fear also proportionately more than normal. Okay. Anyway, if you enjoy whatever you have, that is the best way of living. Just enjoy, But if you have a fear of any kind, and particularly if those are interfering into your living, then it's a matter of concern. You need to learn something. You need to do something about it, and you have to address them, and you can neutralize them or go beyond them. So, and that will be the way forward. Okay. All right, so it is about the fear and attachments, and then next topic is on the phobias. Okay, phobia is we have heard of the phobia. I was just one day reading of phobias, and I got amazed how many kinds of phobias people may be having. So we have a lot of known kind of phobias. People have a phobia of like a hydrophobia, like if the dog bites. We have heard in the childhood that hydrophobia can happen, and height of fear of height, and that is very common. fear of a very confined space called claustrophobia that we all know. Some people claustrophobic and breathlessness, this kind of stuff, they happen. And these are the common phobias. The many we know that. And there are some phobia like phobia from the insects. Phobia from cockroach is a famous one. Okay. So maybe a soldier cannot they fight with the enemies on the front line on the war. They don't fear of the five people shooting at him, but he got fearful when just find one cockroach below the bed. So this kind of stuff. Phobia of the insects, phobia of the snakes, phobia of the and very common phobia is a dark place. People are fearful going into anything dark. Some peculiar sensation happens; they cannot go into the dark. This particular aspect, going to the dark, is a special category. It's called fear of unknown. We'll touch upon it a little later. It's basically coming from fear of unknown. The darkness brings that unknown in front of them and they get fearful. Okay. But other things, which is people are, there are other phobias, like a phobia of facing public. I didn't know that public speaking is a big phobia. Many people they have. They cannot talk in front of people. If you see the people are listening, and they are on the stage or in a public forum, they get choked and they cannot speak properly and something. But they're good at their thought process. Everything is good. If you see their writing, their thinking pattern and their analytical ability and expressing, very good in writing. The moment they stand up in front of people, all sort of symptoms they happen. They start stammering and these things. It looks like drinking water sometime and look very funny. That sort of uncomfortable looking, and they cannot. This is the fear of facing people. Some phobia name I don't know. There are some lot of things. So fear of being in the too many people at the same place, like a fear of crowd, is one type of phobia. And their end is listless. That's what I was saying. I was very, surprised to see how many phobias. You take any kind of medical journal or phobias or Google search, you will get the list of phobias, hundreds of them. And you don't know how many people are facing what kind of thing. Anyway, the phobias are, it is called that unreal repetitive fear, something which go into the internally, the psyche level. That's what it is getting affected. And it triggers every small thing of occurrence of that. So those are also, we need to address them because it is not maybe, it is basically a psychological level and it is an illness, the phobias, because fear gone into your deep-rooted psyche and that is being affecting your life. So you need to do something of that if it goes to the level of phobias. And if you have phobia and it may, I'm just giving, this is one level, but another level is the phobias may also come from your past life experiences or your childhood experiences, what you don't remember. Okay, it is coming from the childhood conditioning also. So this kind of phobias, we need to work upon and get out of it because this phobia otherwise will ruin our normal experiences of life. Okay, so that we need to give a proper importance to those phobias, and whether known or unknown, but sometimes it triggers at a particular situation. You may not be knowing that you are having that kind of phobia, but it can trigger at some point of time and some situation in life. Then oh my God, I even didn't realize that I have this kind of phobias, but it is it happens at that particular time. Yeah. All right. Now the various forms of fear. So forms of fear are the many, but the broad category we'll discuss today, what is called natural, which is a threatening situation or outcome that when we face any threatening situation or there is a possibility of outcome, like unfavorable outcome, so we get fearful. Okay, so this kind of thing is called the natural. It is suddenly something happened. Suppose suddenly the room you are sitting in, some part of the ceiling falling down in front of you, you get fearful. These are natural. Okay, these are natural, these are instinctive. Like we have been born with this kind of elements within. Why? I will explain now. Okay, so we have been, in that sense, we are born with certain kind of fear, and these are called the natural fears. And these natural fears are being built in into our system as a human being, as a, you can say, our protection or prevention mechanism within us. Like the fear of, say, wild animals. We don't want to go to forest and we feel this thing. This is instinctive, because those animals can make harm to us. We can get even killed. We are not, just go and touch a snake. It is like instinctively we are not very comfortable in doing that. There is a fear involved here. The snake is a poisonous animal and it may bite us. We normally don't go and put our hand into the fire, because it get burned, and maybe we have got minor instances that triggers it, and this kind of thing, we can have an instinctive fear of something. And the fear, these are generated. How it is, I'm just explaining how these are generated. We have a built-in instrument that senses the vibration of that. So if something is occurring and that vibration, we can sense the vibration, and the vibration automatically triggers some kind of fear mechanism, so that we are not proceeding further in that direction. This is a mechanism developed, built into us to protect ourselves physically. Again, if you go to the four items, we said the operating principle on the Mother Earth and the feminine energy principle of WeAreOne group. It is in the Facebook group, the banner. Okay, for first of them is protect physically. Okay, first one. So whatever we have physically, we need to protect them. So the divine has given us that power, which is intuitive power, to sense that if everything is dangerous, automatically we have some mechanism to protect ourselves from there, so that we don't go ahead and just do it. So in that sense, the fear of the height and the fear of unknown, or like a darkness, is sometimes coming from that. It is intuitive. It is like coming because it is not known to us. There may be some danger, or maybe we are walking onto the mountain, and if we just go to too much of edge, we may fall down. So we don't want to go to the edge. We bring ourselves to us inside and safe place. These are our natural instincts. These are, you can say, these are the fears which are natural in nature. It is good for us. It is protecting us and helping us in that sense. And the next category, this is a natural category. And the next category is imaginary. Imaginary means it is a mind construct. Our mind projects some risk, and then we act upon that kind of emotion and that kind of thing. We act upon that, and this is like a losing something or someone or something we attach to or like. That is coming from there. If something becomes which is a risk of losing something or someone, or something we are attached to, or we like it, or some situation, some feeling, some sensation, we like it, any threat of losing triggers mind with some kind of mechanism of fear, and then we act out of the fear. We are overpowered by that kind of mind emotion, and whatever we do next is a emotional outcome of those trigger. This part, is also, it is also losing something. We may not tell about it, we talk about it, but something, any object of lust or greed or pride, anything we lust for, anything we are greedy about, like we are hoarding something, we are greedy about it, or something we feel pride about something, any minor threat of losing them triggers that. It is a mental trigger which triggers, and then our risk of losing them, and then we take further that creates that fear, and we, under the fear, we do something, and we do erratically. Sometimes we go offensive. We behave offensive to others to get out of those kind of people or situation. That is a mechanism we develop, but it is not natural. It's triggered by our mind. So these are the imaginary category. So two category. First is natural, what I told in the beginning, I mean earlier, and the next one is imaginary, which is a mind construct. Unfortunately, statistically, whatever fear we face, whatever phobias and other things we may have, only 5% of them are natural and 95% them are imaginary. Means what we are born with, what is natural, whatever the, as I said, the usefulness of fear to protect ourselves, that part is only 5%. And 95% of the fear we face, fear we see, the phobias we are undergo and all those kind of things, they are 95%. Okay, if you analyze your own fears in your life, you will come to that. The 95% of them, your mind construct, creating by your own mind, out of fear of losing something you like, or anything you attach to, or anything you feel it is good for you, or something of that, losing that. Okay, so now let us come to the discussion of, as we understand that only 5% it is natural and is for protection, so we need not to work on that. It is natural, let it be, because we are designed that way. So we need to work on the 95% of them, which is imaginary. That's why it is called illusion. It is a mind construct. So when we talk about working to a path to overcome them, then as 95% them are mind creations. So if you work on the mind, those 95% can be mitigated. Okay, that's simple logic. So there comes the clue of the path to overcome the first one, to calm down the mind, too much of activity of the mind. Okay. If you just calm down the mind, of course, there are many techniques. Meditation is one of them, most powerful out of them. Calm down the mind and contemplate on those issues. We may get some solution, because rather than going dancing with the mind, if you can calm down and just objectively reassess, then you may get some clue of coming out of that. So that is one way. Then identify the illusions and re-educate the mind. So when you contemplate what it comes, that you can then able to identify, no, these are illusions. That true. Okay, I have the maybe 200 fears, but out of 200 fears, maybe 180 of them or 190 of them, they are only the possibility. I think it will happen, but it never happened. If I take account of my past, so 10 years, 20 years, whatever I fearful about, those things never happened. Okay, that is a fact, statistical fact. So if you project the statistics, most likely all these things doesn't have a need to be equally prioritized. There must be some priority area, but that can happen, and I have to do something about it. Rest of the things just in my mind. If I calm down the mind, that 180 will go. As simple as that. Then next is about, many you are coming from your conditionings, different types of conditionings we undergo. We have a family conditioning, childhood conditioning, educational conditioning, religious conditioning, social conditioning, family, I think already told, whatever, many kinds of conditioning, like a political conditioning, and many level. We are exposed to many kinds of conditioning. So if we can identify them, those conditioning, then and the patterns we developed out of those conditioning. Sometimes we followed certain conditioning and we change our behavior accordingly. If we repeat our behaviors, that becomes our pattern. So Now we need to relook into all those things. What we think is our we are doing it naturally. I normally do, but maybe that normally what you do, it's coming from your pattern. So if we go into that, then then you have to see that whether there is a truth in it. I'm just giving one small example. Suppose if you suppose you are driving a car. If you listen to a horn, then maybe automatically your tendency will be to speed up the vehicle. I'm just saying, just for example. Maybe you had earlier some example when after listening to some horn, somebody come and hit you at the back. So that experience tells you that if I listen to horn, better do I run away from it. I will be saving myself. But you forget what happened. You forget what caused it. But moment you hear any horn because of any reason, maybe some that car is not behind you, you speed up. Now, if you that fear of listening to the horn triggered that fear. So you now if you reassess, then you can realize not every time if you hear a horn, you have to just move fast. As simple as that. So just understanding of it will get out of the give you the clue to get out of it. So then you can work upon that. So this is true for all your types of conditionings. But that type of conditioning needs time and your effort of self-assessment. And that can come in a calm mind. And so to reassess all those things, then pattern appears, then it gives as once you know this is your pattern, knowing a problem is half solved, then you have to work on them, how to get rid of that. That is the second half. You can take action appropriately onto that, how to work upon them. Okay. The next is about this is also true for your all blind spots. Something you maybe you don't know that you don't know. So, but this will allow you the light of awareness will come into that. Your soul knows everything. So light into awareness can come into that, and you come to know about it, and then you can work upon that. You come out of that blind spot of yourself, some part of your life. The detachment from all those things. If you practice the detachment, if you learn how to get detached from all those things, what you think, objects of the desires, whatever you have, I'm not saying you give up the object. I'm saying only the attachment you give up. Keep the object, but come out of that, the attachment. If you can do that, practice detachment from all those things, that will be the key of winning that fear of that. You can come out of the fear of losing them, because the sense of having them has been reduced. So-called attachment has been reduced, so that goes the fear. So it is quite simple, as simple as that. Yeah? So you can work towards that. And then it is about if you go to the level of the spirituality. Now I'm going, it is a normal. So let us now address the the spiritual aspect of it. So listen this part very, very carefully. Spiritually, fear simply means absence of pure love. You can only be fearful of some area or something in your life which is not loved at properly, which is not into the field of the pure love, what we have been created with. Okay. So any matter in your life which you are fearful, if you bring love, the power of love, I'm not talking about the normal love, people use love for everywhere. I'm talking the power of love, the consciousness. If you bring into that through awareness and you give love into that area of your life, and it will go from your system permanently, completely. It is like bringing a light into the darkness. Suppose I was telling that your fear of unknown and going into the darkness. So how to get out of that the fear? Just bring a light. If you see what is there in front of you, you walk forward. That's it. The light is not working on your fear. Yeah? It is not a medical treatment, but the energy of that light is lighten up the area. So whatever is unknown is no longer unknown. So you walk the path fearlessly. Same here. That light, what you bring in the dark room, is a love, pure love. Pure love, what we have been created with. You bring that love into that area of your life, and it will enlighten your life, and you walk with this confidence, and that solves that permanently. The masters, they give path towards that. I'm just reading of one of the masters path here. So this is a four level path. This master is suggesting spiritual path. First is meditate, next is assert, then recognize, and then realize. Okay, I will repeat here. So spiritual path, the levels are meditate. I explain why. I'm not going to explain again. Assert, analyze, assert. Then recognize whichever is causing it. It can be a pattern, it can be your habit, it can be a something which is not true, whatever it is. You recognize, and then realize who you are. Realize your power, bring that power of love through you and implement them. So that is the key for going permanently out of it. So final liberation is if I have to give into the one line of the spiritual understanding of the fear, it is duality consciousness. That duality consciousness lead you to fear. Unity consciousness gives the key to come out of it permanently. What is duality consciousness? That we are separate from our creator. We are something else, which is called ego, something else from the creator, or the soul consciousness and the physical consciousness. This is the two things. So the duality consciousness is bring us the fear in us, because we can be harmed and all those things in the duality consciousness. The unity consciousness, if we are operating from the soul consciousness, then in that case, it is not, you are not under this duality consciousness. There is, your soul knows everything. There is nobody can harm you, anything of any kind. This understanding, that realization itself is the unity consciousness that take you out of it permanently. So, and this, you live into that unity consciousness of the oneness with the creator, and that is permanently get all kinds of fears out of that. That's why all the masters are all the saints. Whoever walk on the spiritual path attain self-realization. They are fearless, zero fear. They don't have to fear of anything or anyone, because they don't have anything to lose. They are not attached to anything. See how beautiful it is. Nobody can threaten also to anything. Okay, because why? Because what they have, that cannot be taken out. The wisdom, the power, the connection cannot be taken out. Yes, somebody can kill the physical body. Yes, that is possible. But killing a physical body not end to that existence. That realization is there. That unification is there. That understanding is there. That awareness is there. So it is always powerful. And it is so much loving that it is coming from the truth, the sattvic background. So you're enjoying it. There is nothing to fear of. You are enjoying the creation. You are in a fully attend to it. Rather, it is other way around. Whatever is happening as a leela or game. You are just having an adventurous journey. That's it. Okay. That's all. Everything in life, it is an adventure. You are enjoying each and every part of it. It is like you're watching a suspense movie. It's fine. Because end of it, you will be unified with the creator. It has to be. There is no other way. Everybody. It is true for everything, everyone. And it is eternal truth. It will happen for sure. You are just experiencing the journey. Enjoy the journey. Okay. Not to be fearful. Enjoyment. And with the sense of adventure. All right. So with this, I will conclude this learning session. So we don't have a question answer in this session. I will post another link. So in this, you please join into that next. Please join into the next link. Then we will discuss in detail about all the questions. Keep the questions, and then we'll discuss it at that time. Onto the next link. So till that time, I will just make another link and post it into the group. So please, all of you, to join into the next link, and so that we can go ahead with our question answer. Okay. Om Mangalam.
Pranam, Aunty.
Pranam, Guruji.
Pranam. Okay. All right. So let us have our question answer session. Kavita, you raised your hand. So you have any question? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to know the last part that you said to raise our consciousness. I want to hear that again to clear my concept. How to be in awareness and how to detach ourselves.
Okay. So, how to get awareness and how to get detached? Okay. So, these comes as a parts and parcel of your spiritual practices. Okay. That is the primary purpose of our spiritual things. So, whatever you have learned as a part of the spiritual practices from your guru or guide, so those are aiming towards that. Okay. So I have just in the session, I'm just mentioning about the purpose and how you can utilize them. But how to do it is the practice, whatever is taught, like a Kriya and how to meditate, and all those are part of this. Okay, there is nothing special here. For fear, you need not to do anything special. Like it is only about like getting detachment will automatically develop. Detachment develops from the understanding of the truth that you are clinging with something which is not true, which is not permanent, which is not your. It is just your mind construct. When you understand that itself, the understanding itself is good enough to get achieve the detachment. Okay, understanding and awareness will take you there. And as I mentioned during the session, you need not to physically get out of them. There is no need. Only thing you have to get detached, development, detachment from that. And detachment practiced in the many levels. So, which are the things you should practice the detachment? It is the our natural process of human existence. You have to go to the end of it for the realization, understanding purposes. So whatever at the time of death is taken out from us, those are the areas we need to learn detachment at the living condition. So what are the things at the time of death is taken out from us? It is our property, our bank balance, our position, the name, fame in the society, our degree, designation, our all our relatives, relationships, all our like other positions in home. Then we have including your own physical body. You have to live at the time of that. So all senses will go. So all these are, if you learn all those things, how to detach from all those things rather than going in the instant, it will go anyway. Whether you like it, is like it, no matter whether spiritual, non-spiritual, it is, the man is mortal, it will happen. But the realization of that, if you have learned all those things through spiritual practices and the guidance, and if you develop that, it is a skill you have to develop. That can be developed, the witnessing and observing them, and then slowly, slowly, it will lessen the grip, and finally, one time, it will completely. You can get out of their grip altogether. That is called the full detachment. Happen. Complete detachment. It will happen. It cannot do mechanically in doing something, and from tomorrow all detachment will stop. It will not happen that way. The main primary cause of which will not happen overnight because of our own mind. Our mind clinges into all those things, some objects of desires. So if we can, that's what you mentioned here. If we retrain our mind, reprogram our mind, and that's why it will take time. Reprogram our mind, then all this, the desires will cease to exist. All the masters, they don't have any desires. That does not mean they don't enjoy. They are basically enjoy more, like food. Suppose somebody has a addiction or say desires a certain kind of, somebody may like biryani too much. Okay, fine. They are so much, they need to have that every time they go out, have to have a certain kind of biryani and all this. Masters, they don't have the craving. If they don't have it, it's okay. But if they have it, they enjoy. Why they enjoy more? Because here they are in the living in that moment, and so the full attention, they enjoy biryani with awareness. So that gives you the multiple thing, multiple way levels of enjoyment. Anybody may be craving for biryani, but their mind has created the craving, so they have the biryani. But the question is, do you enjoy that biryani? Most likely not. There may be watching something and watching in the mobile and eating. That will not give the 100% enjoyment of that food. But the craving is there. So only thing is what it is. We need to be learned. We have to get out of the craving. Yeah, which is a mind construct. That can be done so that you can get that level it comes where it is no longer controlling you, and rather whenever it is giving gifted to you, the life gives you something, then you will enjoy it 100%. Okay, so that is the way of living.
So, in short, detachment with awareness, and
Hmm.
mind should become still through all these process
It will
that we
happen.
are
Yeah,
practicing.
correct. So when mind gets still, their activity reduces, the craving and other things. Basically, mind manipulates us. So the manipulation will go. We will take that call. If you want to enjoy something, we'll enjoy something. We'll take a call and enjoy it. But mind will not take us to that. Hmm. Okay. So this is the part we will win over, this kind of over the mind.
Thanks. Thank you.
God bless you. Okay, Indronilda. Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, good evening. I have two questions.
Hmm.
The first is fight or flight response. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, okay, it is common sense. You're in a jungle, tiger is coming to attack you. You will adopt the flight response, right?
Hmm.
That is the common sense thing to do. Of course, I've heard of a lot of evolved people who face the tiger in the eye and the tiger goes away. I
Yeah.
don't know if that is true,
Yeah. No,
but
that is true, but no need to try that because you don't
yeah,
know what level we are in.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
uh,
So, what are the circumstances for a fight response?
mhm. Yeah.
Flight is clear, but fight?
Okay. So if you want me in this, it is as I said, our uh, strength and weaknesses are unique. Our fears are unique. Our paths are unique. Okay. Let us understand that first. Okay. It is all unique. So there is no common answer for everybody. When one answer suits everybody, it's not that. It's like a shoe size. Same size of shoe cannot be everybody cannot wear. So, with that understanding, so only thing is here my advice would be that fight with only which is coming from your own mind construct. I'm not talking, I'm saying do not fight physically with anything. Of our modern day
Hmm,
living, you don't have to
hmm.
fight physically with anything. Okay. Only you have to fight with your mind construct, your own mind, the projections, you have to fight with that. And
Okay,
physical threat, if you feel somewhere, okay, then you take a flight off, take out of that.
okay,
Okay, like physically, you should not, cross a busy road. You have to wait till
right.
the car rate of car comes down. So,
Hmm.
and then you cross something of that nature. So, anything you physical level, the threat, you take a flight, and if it is a mental level, you fight. But
Okay,
there are, as I mentioned in the beginning, there
yeah,
are uniqueness into everybody's case. But in general, if you take that approach, mostly 99% cases it will working well for you.
got it. Thank you. Question two, in terms of self fulfilling prophecy. Okay.
Mhm.
A lot of situations where the fear is so overpowering, it
Mhm.
drives you to that conclusion which you are fearing.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
It okay. Just let I need some clarification before answering the questions. Okay, prophecy of whom? From where you get that prophecy?
Yourself, myself,
Okay, so it is coming from your inner voice.
inner, yeah.
Yeah, inner
That,
voice is telling that
that,
this.
yeah, yeah. That, this will happen. Okay, so that outcome is resulting out of fear.
Hmm.
But sometimes the mind works in a way to make it happen.
Hmm. Oh,
So,
very good.
is
Yeah.
that correct and how to avoid
Oh,
it?
yes, 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 absolutely. So this kind of that is actually what damages our fear can does on us. Okay, the fear can make actually physically something to happen which does not exist. Okay,
Yes.
there was some kind of experiments. That experiment was that one what is called somebody convicted murderer. Yeah, so he has been convicted to death sentence. Hmm. So, for experiment point of view, the psychologists they have done some experiment with that convict, and in with arrangement with the jail authorities and all those things. The arrangement is like that in he has been put into one room in a chair, untied, everything tied, and a poisonous snake has been put into the room.
Okay.
Okay, suppose a cobra. There is a cobra in the room. He saw that there's a cobra in the room, and he has been hand and this thing tied. Then what happened? They covered their full face. You cannot see anything.
Mhm.
Then silently they took the cobra away and brought two needle pin, like injection things, and they punctured on his leg 2 points at the same time,
Okay.
quickly.
Uh-huh.
And the syringes, they have nothing like normal water or something like there's nothing poisonous
Right.
in it. That fellow has died later on. He died, and he has been medically tested, and he has been found the poison in his body.
Oh God.
Okay,
Ah.
this is the power of mind. What your fear can create. From where the poison came, nobody knows. Your body generated it because it is the fear of snake bite which killed you. Actually, it is not. It happened historically many places, like a fear of ghost, say, you
Mm,
know,
mm.
somebody thinks that that particular house is haunted, all those kind of things, and the person has no other choice than to living there. Slowly, health deteriorates. There is nothing of the so-called ghost was there. Hmm.
Yeah.
But the fear of it, just you're fearful of ghost, that
Mhm.
slowly killed you. And finally, they got out of fear of heart attack, that person died.
My God.
This is the kind happened many places. In the history, many places it happened. Your mind creation, fear actually killed you, where actually there is no reason to get affected by it. So that kind of powerful it is. Our mind is powerful, but it what is called, it magnifies whatever is injected into.
Mm.
And that's why if you put some good seed, fruit will be good. Bad seed, bad fruit, poisonous fruit will come. But our master's path is not good seed and bad seed. Okay, good mind and bad mind. Yeah. So
Mhm.
master says that no matter what mind does, there is always chance of flipping. Like mind is unstable. You cannot have the thing. Only if you go beyond it. That is the
Correct.
path of your liberation. Not holding the good and getting the bad. It's a opposite side of the same coin.
Right.
Okay, so this
The
this is
same
the,
same
this is
same
the finally.
solution.
Yeah.
Solution is same meditation and all that.
Yeah.
Correct.
You can go and see when you go beyond that, you can have a bird's eye view on that. I'm not saying get out of the whole thing altogether. You may come back
Mhm.
and do the same thing, but with awareness.
Correct.
Earlier, it was mind is controlling you.
Mm.
Okay, so suppose mind projects this thing is dangerous. You don't
Mhm.
know that whether it is a fact or not.
Right.
It is a perception. But when you
Correct.
are operating from the awareness, maybe suppose that I was talking about that house and thing like that. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
From the awareness, maybe you still decide to leave the house, maybe for some other reasons.
Mm.
My house may not be safe. It may be too old. It is in the jungle. It may be having some, insects and snakes and things coming in. Maybe from those are the facts.
Right.
Maybe because of that, you will leave the house, not because of the ghosts. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You may take the conscious decision. The decision
Ah.
may be same, but the way it is processed is completely different. The source of the decision is completely different. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
God bless you. Okay. Any other question? Okay, Chaitali, go ahead.
Guruji, I want to ask one thing.
Okay, Monali, go
You
ahead.
just mentioned
Yes.
in the you mentioned in the earlier session that in childhood we might have had some adverse experience or somewhere like that. If we had that experience and we still have that fear in our mind that it might happen again. I
Hmm.
have this kind of fear
Yeah.
that it might happen again, this adverse, because I had that. So how to
Hmm.
overcome that? So
Okay.
I remind myself that it is okay. You have overcome that. Maybe in future also you will overcome that. But the fear is there.
Okay.
That I understood. That fear is in my. It's still in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let me put it in that way. Just to understand that this is a fear and coming from your childhood conditioning, it itself is a half job done. Because you know the source, you know from where it is coming. And the action further you take to implement that. Next part is knowing and then implementing. No? So as it is no longer an unknown factor. Suppose in the childhood you have faced some money issues, money problems. Now you have a habit of hoarding. Your house may be full of many things. A lot of clothes, lot of food, lot of grains, and unnecessarily it is taking the space. Suppose I'm giving some example. So once you understand the from where it came, you may still stock something, but the stock will be reasonable. You will understand. I did not to panic buy things. I need not to panic stock things. Yes, it happened. I understand why it is coming. Why I have a natural tendency of hoarding. Okay. But as you have awareness now, the from where it has come, the tendency of your hoarding or degree of hoarding will be lessened. It will come to the more of a practical and the useful area rather than just dumping things, and maybe because of the dumping many things are wasted already. Something maybe bought some clothes and you didn't wear for 20 years, they are still there. So there is a time to dispose of them off. So you could not enjoy the dress, the clothes you bought, but you just bought because you have an insecurity of maybe we may not have clothes, enough clothes. So this kind of fear, once it is addressed, then it comes to the rational level, comes to the practical level. Okay, I think I have this much and that should be enough. No matter what comes, we'll see it at that time. So this approach, that your approach to life will change if you have this kind of awareness. Otherwise, you keep on, doing into something, the objects of desire or objects of panic buying, panic stocking, panic acting. So those kind of things will go. Panic will go. It will be more like a conscious choice of doing something or not doing something. Or maybe you decided if something goes wrong, I will keep this kind of saving to in case something time bad comes, I will utilize this saving. So it is a matter of saving some reasonable amount, not ruining your day-to-day life. No, every day you just enjoy. If something comes, we'll take care of that. Maybe you want to change a little bit of lifestyle here and there, but it overall will be fine. So these kind of things come out of that. So awareness give you that tool. Otherwise, you may be hoarding something unknowingly and wasting a lot of things in the process. House will look like a go down after a few years. Okay, you can save yourself from that kind of thing. Unfortunately, many of us we are having this kind of habit, unnecessarily buying something what we don't need. Okay, this is very common. So I'm just saying that those comes from the insecurity of those kind of things, and we may go and do some get into indulgence into all those kind of things. End of the day, it really, really don't matter. Okay, when the realization comes, then you are coming out of it. Okay. All right.
Guruji, I will be very specific about my fear of this.
Okay.
In childhood, we lost our father very suddenly, within a few hours span, and that fear I'm still having. That that any moment my near and dear ones will go away. I'm being very specific about my fear because
Yeah.
I was quite 10 years old like that. So that fear is still in my mind that it can
Yes.
happen anytime.
Yeah. Okay. Now let me come to that. If it is not a physical issue, like hoarding is a physical matter, like objects. But
Yes,
if it is not an physical object, it is still coming from your mind. Huh? Your mind projects it. The
yes,
risk, the fear of losing. That's what I explained today's session. How to deal with that? Here in this case, the primary principle is the truth will liberate you. Satyameva Jayate. Truth will liberate you, no matter how harsh the truth is. Once you realize the truth, that it is not, you know, if something has to happen, it will happen because its own reason, its own course. Every soul has a choice. Every soul leaves the body at its own choice, at its own time. I cannot do anything about it. That is the
yes,
truth. It is beyond my control. Neither I am responsible, nor I am contributing for anything on that regard. Neither I have got any say. Now you don't leave body after 5 months. I have no control. Even if I say it doesn't matter. Once we realize that, then what we do, we leave it to the creator. We leave it to the divine. Then we get relieved of all those things because it is not in our head anymore. If it is to happen, it will happen. I leave it to you. We pray for what is the best of whatever in the best interest of everybody. Let that happen, not what I want.
yes,
So if I give that, if I get detached from that outcome, surrender to the divine, which is powerful anyway, it doesn't need your permission. Okay. But if we willingly surrender that, then my life get peaceful. No matter what the outcome is, but outcome, mafaleshu kadachana. No, outcome doesn't decide our life. What we are going through decide our life. What is going through, particularly in our mind, that decides our life. I can make my mind inside me beautiful today. Just following the truth, accepting the truth as it is. Everything is divine, everything is truth, everything. And in the higher level, when you go for the higher level of understanding, there is a story of Dhruva, Bhakt Dhruva. He was into find out the death and find out what it is. Anyway, I'm not saying to go into that. Take it as a story. Keep that aside and all those things. The higher level of realization comes. Nobody actually dies. Death is not the end. That is the truth. That is a universal truth. You can communicate. You can make contact. You can have that like conversation, and all those things are possible. That truth itself relieves you from the pain of the separation and all those things, losing somebody permanently. The truth is there is nothing called permanent. Okay. And this is possible. So it is a possible work towards that possibility. That gives a purpose of your life, and which is you will get that. Many they got that kind of the ability to go and communicate with somebody who is no longer into this. There is a into this world, and maybe the afterlife. It is all possible. But simply the sense that you didn't lost some near and dear ones by death, that realization itself is liberating. Where somebody is and all doesn't matter. So many things we don't know. In our normal life, you know how much pressure our heart pumps the blood, we don't know. It does not mean that we don't live and how the heart is not working. simply think we don't know. It's okay not to know. Enjoy life. Knowing too many things is not necessarily important, but the truth, if you understand the truth is there, wherever it is, somebody is there, my father is already there somewhere, it's all right. That itself is a liberating. You need not to spend your life in just thinking about that loss. Okay, your life is also limited. You enjoy this limited life, and there may be some reason, whether you like it or not. Some of the relationship came into your life, some of the relations going out of your life. Let it go. Let go with the flow. Okay, that's what our earlier session was.
Yes.
If you know how to go with the flow, our all our so-called problems in our life get sorted out on its own. Only we need to know how to do it. We leave it to the divine, leave it to the creator to do it. Sometimes it's liking, sometimes not in our liking. In both ways, we accept and move forward. That's it. Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
God bless
Guruji, I
you.
have a question.
Okay, 1 minute.
Uh,
Sonika has raised
sure.
her hand. I'll come back to you. Sonika, go ahead with your question.
I'm sorry, by mistake it happened.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. That's fine. Okay, Chaitali, go ahead.
Guruji, I don't understand how to bring that love of light to overcome the fear.
Okay,
You
okay,
just
good.
explain.
Okay. First you take it initially till you have that experiential understanding. For the time being, you take these words from the masters. Okay. Just I'm giving you for custom made for you how to go about it. The masters, whoever has realized it, they are sharing, just simply they are sharing their stories with you. Okay. Like you may not you may not have gone to moon, but somebody has gone to the moon. They are sharing the story of moon. Okay, forget on moon, say Antarctica, or the Mount Everest climbing. So you have not gone there, but whatever they say Mount Everest, they have gone through these things. So you are just reading it. So just first you accept that these are the things. If I need to go someday, then I have to face all those things. So take advice from them. That's what it is. Now, in this kind of cases, it is happening, the masters are telling that ultimate, the way of getting into the get rid of the fear is in the process of love, bringing love into that. How to now, your question is how I can get into the pure love into my life? Just simply dropping all other emotions from your life. You will be automatically connected. You need not to bring pure love into your life. You are made of pure love. You need to bring it. When you shed off all your attachments and all your emotional attachments, particularly, which were emotionally connected, only the attachment need to go, not those things or people. That means that is what we said in the first step. It is getting rid of the mind control. Getting rid of emotions indirectly means then your mental constructs, they are no longer capable of holding you, clutching you. Okay, you are just getting out of your mind control. When all your emotions, the state when you achieve, when all your emotions are dropped, means your mind is 100% under control. Mind is completely calmed down. You have a zero effect, no thought zone and whatever it is called. Okay, you you achieve, the moment you achieve there, your inner energy of pure love will overflow from within. You need not to do anything. That is a state of being. You have to be in that mindless state, or zero mind state, or thoughtless state, or turyavastha, whatever you call it. Okay, you have to be there, and your being will overflow. Every cell of your body will feel that energy of pure love, and that solves everything else automatically. It's coming from that universal truth. Okay, so that need to be felt. So as it is experiential, no matter how long I give a lecture, it will not be clear. It need to be experienced. Okay.
Thank you, Guruji.
Okay. God bless you. Okay. Shoma, go ahead with your question.
Sorry. Sorry. Ami, I forgot the 4 steps to deal with fear actually.
Okay. That is a master's method for this thing. Four
Yeah.
is the meditate,
Yes.
then assert, then recognize, and fourth is realize, self realization.
Okay.
Okay, I repeat: meditate,
Meditate.
assert, recognize, and realize.
Okay.
Okay, all
Thank
right.
you.
God bless you. Okay, so if there is no other question, so we'll go into our Kriya. Okay, Nirupam, you raised your hand. Go ahead.
Just one thing I want to mention. Just now you have mentioned that how to bring love into the awareness. So I can really vouch for it, the way you taught and the way I am feeling it. So just I want to thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, God bless you. That's great. It will happen. It is like a shower. It happens on us. We get overwhelmed with the divine love and the shower. It is only a matter of how we place ourselves, like our deserving capacity. You can say that, like we are like a pot. So bigger the pot, that is a deserving capacity through our sadhana, then we can receive the huge. It's always showering. It is not a special time it showers and shower for only few people. It doesn't happen. It is like a universal shower. All the time it is showering. So through our spiritual practices, we go into that level where we can hold that our own container and hold it properly. If it's upside down, nothing will come. It will come and drop out. So hold it properly, and that the more sadhana we make it bigger and bigger, then we'll be able to experience that pure love, and it will being the reservoir of that will be keep on increasing and increasing, and the source is infinite. There is no such thing how many liters it can contain. Okay, it's like an ocean of pure love, so it is keep on showering on us. So it is up to us how much you can experience of that one. Okay, that's good, Nupam.
Thank you. Thank you.
God bless you. All right. Okay. So we'll go with our Kriya and meditation. And now just be ready, sit straight.